back, quarterback rolling right. He's looking end zone. Caught. Touchdown.
Saturdays are sacred. A football podcast.
What is up, everybody? My name is CJ alongside Cody, and Saturdays are very sacred around here because college football is probably one of the greatest sports, greatest times of the year when it's being played, and we're getting close to the sweetest time and also bitter time because college football playoffs are right around the corner. We got conference championships this weekend. The craziness, the chaos is happening, but we know that we're getting closer and closer to the end of the season, which is not necessarily what we want, but the football gets greater. It has more, everything's amplified in this time of the year. Motions, feelings, people may like your schedule, may not like your schedule for one way or the other, whether it's in terms of like the schedule for the coaches and the timelines, or whether your schedule is if you actually even played anybody. All these discussions are being had right now at the moment. But before we get too deep into this action-packed episode, make sure you guys follow us here at Sports Fluent. We're normally here on Sundays at 12 o'clock Eastern, but this week we needed a couple more days to really kind of just take in the craziness so we can get it all to you in one beautifully packed episode. But Cody, how are you doing today, man?
Doing well, man. Yeah, I think it was smart for us to do this on Tuesday. A lot of crap's happened, so yeah, man, I'm excited about the show. I think we got a lot to go over here, so I'm pumped.
Where to start?
Jeez.
Well, let's get to just the housekeeping of things. Let's look at this college football schedule that just dropped, the new brackets that we have here. Let's see if I can. Does this work? Oh, it does work. Heck yeah.
Boom, boom.
Okay, so as we see, we have number 1 ranked Ohio State, who finally broke the curse of beating Michigan this past Saturday. Number 2, Indiana, who we'll see if they'll be number 2 after this week. 3, Georgia, after impressive holding on victory to Georgia Tech. Texas Tech at 4. We got Oregon at 5. Ole Miss, how you want to feel about that. Return to the SIP or something like that, or SIP, wherever their logo is.
Something like that, yeah.
Texas A&M at 7, so not too far of a drop. 5 spots. Where we have 8, Oklahoma. They're still in the mix, which feels weird. 9, Alabama. 10, Notre Dame. And 11 is the conference champion, number 4. Who could that be? We'll find out after this week's games. And conference champion 5 for the 12th spot. So let me ask you this question. If everything, well, I can't say if everything stayed the same, the matchup you'd be looking most likely towards to, obviously outside of the Ole Miss game, which Ole Miss, this could give them an opportunity to get a playoff victory if they were to stay that way. What matchup would you want to see in this scenario, whether it's the first round or the quarterfinals? What matchup would you like to see if everything were to stay like it is right now?
Well, it's weird because we got 2 rematches because Notre Dame and Texas A&M played, Alabama and Oklahoma played, so that'll be interesting. But I think the biggest matchup I'd want to see probably be the quarterfinals. Mm-hmm. Oregon Texas Tech would be kind of sweet. I think that'd be a fun game. I think it'd be. I don't know if that's those quarterfinals or those bowl game sites, or are they is it home games? I don't. I think they might be bowl game sites.
Bowl game sites. Yeah,
I think so. But that'd be pretty fun. I mean, Alabama or Oklahoma versus Ohio State. That'd be pretty awesome. I think Alabama would probably win this game this time around, but it would be in Norman. It looks like. But I'm assuming if Alabama wins over Georgia this weekend, they won't be 9. But as of right now, the matchups, and then if you're Ole Miss, you're kind of sitting in a great spot because it's you're either getting Virginia or in North Texas or Tulane at home. So you're kind of sitting in a really good spot, even without Lane Kiffin there. So you got Pete Golden running things, and Charlie Weiss Jr. is supposed to be calling the plays on offense. So we'll see what that looks like. but you're kind of in a good spot. Like you could have been like 7 and hosting Notre Dame, and that's probably not a good spot to be without your head coach. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty good spot for Ole Miss. But yeah, I think the best matchup I'd want to see would be that Oregon Texas Tech. It's like Texas Tech we've talked about like all year. They're the best team in the Big 12, but how would they look against like the Big 10 or an SEC power? We'd see that like pretty quick with Oregon right there. Like, would they be able to contend with the team that's the top end of the Big 10?
That's fair. I think for me, so looking at all the matches, I would like to see. I don't want to see it, but I would like to see the Ole Miss Georgia in terms of from an outside perspective because how good that first game was. It was back and forth, back and forth. Would that be the same case with Weiss calling plays, right? Because I feel like Lane Kiffin had a play calling masterpiece that game, and obviously they were going toe to toe with each other into the second half, where a couple stops made, by Georgia, and they kept rolling. That would be a fun rematch to kind of for the headline purposes. I would be really interested in this Oklahoma-Alabama matchup for the sake of Oklahoma's defense is really good, and Alabama's offense has been tailing off as of late. So, could this be the time where all of a sudden Oklahoma figures it out on offense, or does their defense does enough, maybe even get a couple turnovers and score on the defensive side of the ball to really swing this game? Like, I could see this being like a 14-17 kind of game, to be honest with you. And I think I do think Oklahoma could just be a odd team, especially if it shakes up a little bit and maybe they wind up with Ole Miss, or maybe they drop to whoever drops to 9 or whatever, or 8. I could see something fun and spicy happening there. But I don't know. I'm interested in that matchup. Obviously, I don't see any of these conference champions. That's the thing too. Actually, you know what? Let me take that back. Depending on who does win, who's that 11th seed, that could be Virginia against Ole Miss, and maybe that Virginia team gets hot in that offense because they have a fun offense, right? And then if things are just not clicking, Ole Miss players don't want to show up, and they're kind of still pissed off that late, left. That could be an upset alert for sure, whoever that 11th seed wind up being. So that could be really interesting. Does Tulane or JMU have enough firepower to maybe possibly overpower a 5 Oregon team? I don't know.
Yeah, in Autzen Stadium. Yeah, that'd be tough in Eugene. I don't think so. I'd probably give the nod to Tulane. Just JMU, they're a good team, but how bought in is Chesney? Well, that's the thing too. It's how many of these teams are not even having their head coach? Chesney, if they're in there, he's not going to be there. North Texas coach is not going to be. Tulane coach is not going to be there. So it's obviously Ole Miss coach isn't going to be there. Just a wild time. I think all the American Conference coaches and Chesney are they were given the leeway to coach throughout the playoff. But obviously Lane wasn't. But I kind of agree with that. You're leaving for a team in the same conference. So it's you probably shouldn't be let to stay, but it'll be interesting to see how these teams look. How bought in are these coaches? Are they looking to get are they out there recruiting for their next team? So I don't know. That'll be interesting. I don't know if any Tulane, North Texas, or JMU would have the firepower to beat Oregon. I'd probably give Tulane or North Texas, because North Texas would probably just want to turn it into a shootout. Like I say, who could score more? Let's just see that, because that's kind of what they do. So that would be interesting there. That could just be a fun game. But with Oklahoma, because their offense is so bad, but gosh, that defense is just ridiculous. If they can get a home game, which looks like they probably will, that's a tough place to play. That's a tough defense. I think that's kind of their ceiling. They're probably a 1 win and done. especially if they're right there. I can't see them beating Ohio State with that offense because Ohio State's defense is just that good. But I don't know. Like, obviously, this is going to change. Like, does Indiana stay at 2 if they lose to Ohio State? Like, if it's a close game, do they stay at 2? Does Georgia move to 2 if they beat Bama and Indiana loses? Where does Bama go if they win? Do they get all the way up to the top 4 or so? Like, these days, it won't stay this way, obviously. Yeah.
Saying that I would love to see Georgia jump to 2, right? To possibly set up a rematch with Notre Dame if they were to beat Texas A&M, right? Yeah. If they were to play, and because like from last year, that would be a really fun storyline. Like Indiana versus, I kind of want to see Indiana versus Oklahoma. Or,
that'd be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm trying to think what teams would match up well with Indiana, right? Because like I kind of want to see Indiana win a couple playoff games, but I just don't truly know where they go. And then it's like if Indiana beats, I don't think I haven't even thought about this yet until just now. Right. But like if Indiana beats Ohio State, obviously they're the number 1 team in the country. But does that solidify you thinking that they can win the national championship?
I mean, kind of, because it's like, what else do they need to do? But it's like, if they lose, say they lose and they fall to 3, you get an Ole Miss.
But how far would you drop them if they do lose, though? So would they still be a top 4 seed?
Right. I think it's like if they lose close, I think they stay in the top 4. Now, if Ohio State just hammers them, like say they win like 35-10 or something like that, then maybe they fall to like 4 or 5. Because I mean, you still went undefeated in the regular season. So maybe to like, I think their floor is probably 5. I don't see them dropping past 5, but I don't again because they beat Oregon. So can you drop them past Oregon? They beat Oregon in Oregon. So I think that's kind of where they would go. Would be like the furthest they could drop is 5. But
got to see that rematch. I want to see that rematch. Like whatever they got to do to make it to where Oregon's 4 and Indiana's 5 or whatever, vice versa, and then. That way, if Oregon does win or whoever wins plays that 5 seed gets to play that rematch. I think that would make a lot of sense for television rank, like just for storyline purposes. Like you want to see these rematches.
Yeah, no, I'd like that too. But yeah, I mean, I don't know because with Indiana, like they just kill all the teams they're supposed to beat, and I feel like Cignetti just runs up the score. Like he's kind of the old school like style points guy. So I think they're good, but I mean, they look great in that Oregon game. I don't know if they can beat Ohio State. Ohio State, it kind of looks like it's like Ohio State's that just juggernaut team again. I really only think maybe 2 or 3 teams could beat them, like Georgia. After that, it gets real thin. That could beat Ohio State. It might just be Georgia, maybe Oregon if they get their wide receivers back. Texas Tech.
You just got to see how they play. Like I that's kind of the thing I kind of hate right now with college football landscape is like, we really won't know the true character of these teams until the playoff. So, but then it's like, but how do you know who to put in the playoff? Because last year, the first round was abysmal. Like all those first round games were just all blowouts. And so it's like, well, I'm excited for these games, but I was like, these games are over in the first half.
Right.
So
exactly.
I hope there's more competitiveness. Like I hope at least the Notre Dame, if it was this week, like if this was the matchup, like I would hope the Notre Dame, Texas A&M, and the Alabama, Oklahoma games would be closest because they're closest in seed wise. Obviously, like with the 5-12 and the 6-11, like those games most likely will end up blowouts. I would love for them to be close games just because seeing an underdog team really push, especially in college basketball reasons, that 5-12 matchup is always destined
always
for an upset.
Yeah. I think if it's Virginia at 11 at Ole Miss, I think that could be a good game, like you said earlier, because I think Tony Elliott's done a good job. Like Chad Morris has been a good quarterback for like they could do it. If it's Tulane or North Texas or JMU at 11, I think Ole Miss just kind of runs the score up on them. So that whoever ends up in that 12 spot, like Oregon, you're probably just sitting there like, dude, this is a perfect spot. We can rest. Get healthy. We don't have to play in a conference championship game. We just sit there and wait for whoever ends up at 12. Like that's
and rebuild that momentum too.
Yeah. And that could be because I think that was that the spot? No, I don't think. I think Ohio State was like 7 or 8 last year, but it worked out well for them. They got healthy. They got time to rest after they lost to Michigan and before before they get their first game, and they kind of just like that gave them momentum. And you win that, they killed Tennessee in that first game, and you just ride that momentum. So if Oregon gets like JMU or something like that, hammers them, you ride the momentum, and now you're playing Texas Tech, neutral site, wherever that would be. Texas Tech's probably going to travel. Their fans are, but I think if you're Oregon, like you may be the best spot. Like you may be in the best spot. That 5 seed might be the best spot. Yeah.
It might be. Okay, so we're going to do a too early prediction. I'm going to ask for 2 things, and then we'll lock it in. So this is kind of our test until we get the official full bracket next week.
Okay.
Give me your favorite to win the national championship right now out of the people we see on screen, and then give me a dark horse team that's like you might not expect, but hey, you know what? This is the team. I just have a feeling.
Okay. I hate to be like the chalk guy, but my favorite's Ohio State. I feel like it's hard to go away from Ohio State right now. If I had to pick a second favorite, it'd be Georgia. So those would be my 2 favorites just because I don't want to be just the guy that picks Ohio State. My dark horse? That's a good question. I'm going to go with, now they just kind of lost, but can they get back off the mat? I'm going to go with Texas A&M. You still got a ton of firepower on that offense. You got Reed, Concepcion, Craver. You don't play in the conference championship game, but maybe that's a good thing. You're probably going to get a home playoff game at Kyle Field, so that stadium's going to be rocking. Still a pretty good defense. If you get this draw, like I think they could beat Indiana. And then you got to play probably Georgia in the semifinal, but it's probably going to be in like the Sugar Bowl or something like that, wherever they end up playing there. So maybe A&M can kind of get off the mat and make a run. You've already beaten Notre Dame in their place, so you probably could beat them at home. So I'm gonna go with A&M. I like if it stays like that, because I could see those teams not moving very much. Like I think Notre Dame's like ceiling is like 9. I don't think they get past the 9 seed, and then A&M probably stays where they're at, provided like the teams above them don't just get hammered. So I like that matchup against Notre Dame, and then we'll see if it's Indiana too. It probably wouldn't be if they lost, but I think that could be a decent matchup too.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you, since you gave me 2 favorite teams, I'm gonna give you 2 sleeper teams. Okay, but I'm gonna give you one of my favorite teams, and it's probably no surprise. I'm gonna go Georgia, but with the caveat that I am a little nervous about Drew Bobo and his foot injury that he suffered in the Georgia Tech game, which I think he's a very pivotal cog in our offense, and he's been a very center point of protections, getting the protection set, and how good he's been all season. So I'm nervous about that aspect, and I think that can be something to watch, especially if our running game's not right, if there's something off with our pass protection. He's definitely a big cog. But I think if you look at the draw, like Ole Miss versus the conference champion, like whoever wins that, like I think that can go either way, right? Like even if there's an upset, that would just bode well for us. We've beat Ole Miss already, right? But this would be a different Ole Miss team. We're also a different Georgia team, right? So I like that. And then depending on Indiana versus whoever, Notre Dame or Texas A&M, like Texas A&M, I think would be the only team that I would be the most nervous for. Right. Just because I think their firepower is different, and that can definitely give us the biggest issue. Like I think that Notre Dame they'll have extra like one to get back, especially establishing that trenches to stop that running game against Notre Dame from last year. Indiana, I just don't know about Indiana. Like I just don't know I don't know who they are really. So we'll find out if they, that quarterfinal game and if we make it to the semifinals against them. Obviously, Ohio State, I think that's going to be the biggest test if we get that far. And I'm glad, as of right now, they're the opposite side of the bracket.
Right. You don't have to see them till the championship game,
Right. So that's why I like Georgia for sure. My first sleeper team is Indiana. And it kind of sounds crazy that they're a sleeper team as the number 2 seed. But again, it's like, it's so many question marks. Yes, Mendoza has been good, and he's possibly a Heisman finalist. But again, like we still haven't seen him tested, right? And so once I see how they play against Ohio State, that's going to tell me, because like I think if they beat Ohio State or even play Ohio State close, that will give you enough confidence to, yeah, we can really do this. We're established and we're here. And so I think that will show you, okay, this team is actually legit. And obviously, the Oregon win should have told you that, especially, but they won in comeback fashion, right? So like,
right.
So I think they might be able to, like, hey, we're actually who we say they are. I think that would be a fun storyline to watch and to see.
Yeah.
Now, are you ready for this real? This is if you want to talk about a real sleeper, here is the sleeper that you might not even see coming.
All right, let's hear it. Oh shit.
Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Oklahoma, I don't know why, but they could be the most downtown Stephen Curry from the logo sleeper team just because of like riding a really, really, really good defense. Like shutting teams out so bad to where if scoring 17 points will be enough, right? Like with Alabama struggles, right? I feel like 21 points, you can beat Alabama.
Right.
Ohio State, that would be a disgusting, boring watch for the old school sickos who love defensive-minded football. It's going to be a chess matchup, right? But I think Oklahoma will just play it so safe and so conservative.
Mm-hmm.
And Julian saying, I love Julian saying he's really good with the football, but like he has been prone to make some interceptions lately over the last couple of weeks. And I think that could have been just that one mistake. And obviously, don't get me wrong, like Oklahoma quarterback, they make a ton of mistakes. But something tells me they could just really go on a run of just really playing clean football. And I think that's really what I think is holding them back is the turnovers on offense. Like if they play clean football on the offensive side of the ball, I really think Oklahoma could just, just do enough. Like they can do just enough. It's not going to be pretty whatsoever. Like I think if they can get past Ohio State, I think it's just like a clear run because then from there it's like, you know, you're not going to face that juggernaut. So like I don't know, something about Oklahoma, man. I just feel like they can get scary, and I could be completely wrong, get blown out by Alabama round one. But
right.
In my world, I just see like something with Oklahoma, and then because I just feel like if they get that win, because I feel like they're building momentum and they're cleaning it up on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And then I think we could see something great, unexpected.
So
I should say.
I like because I think Venables is 2-0 against Alabama. He beat them last year and beat them this year. So I like that matchup, especially if it's in Norman. It's the Ohio State one. I just don't know. Because Ohio State's like if Oklahoma's the best defense, you could probably make the case Ohio State's number 2. So yeah, like you said, that could be an ugly game. I give the advantage to Ohio State's offense just with those receivers and Sayin. And now they're running the ball pretty well. Like the Bo Jackson kid looks pretty good. So I don't know if they could score enough to beat Ohio State. Ohio State's probably going to get at least 20, 24. And I don't know if Oklahoma can get to 20 against that Ohio State defense. But, I mean, shit, if they can win those first 2 games, then, yeah, whoever, Texas Tech or Oregon, you beat Alabama and Ohio State back-to-back, then, yeah, you're not – like, you don't have total confidence you can win who's ever up next. So, yeah.
It's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys currently, like beating the 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, well, sky's the limit.
I thought about them for my sleeper. I watched some of that game on Saturday against LSU when their offense is like Mateer threw 3 picks. It was just like luckily like LSU was worse and made their own mistakes, but it was just like, dang, that's hard. So I just don't know if they have enough offense. I think they can get in the head of like Simpson and Alabama and kind of turn them over like they've already done. So that could be interesting, but I don't know. That was a good one. because like sleeper's difficult because we don't know who the 11 or 12 are, and I don't know if I believe whoever fits into those spots is really going to do any damage. And so, and I don't like Oregon at 5. I don't think that's a sleeper, but that Oklahoma one, that one I was like, okay, you're either going like super hard and you're saying like Virginia at 11.
Virginia would be like something I would think about, but I got to see how they play in this ACC championship game. So again, this is just a teaser, right? This is the teaser. This is not officially locked in. But at the same time, it's like, I like Virginia. I like that football team. They had a bad loss. And I think teams like with Ohio State, they haven't had that bad game yet. They really haven't. And it's like a staple each year to have a bad game for Ohio State. So maybe they could have that bad game at the worst time of the year. Right.
They could. And that's, because like you said, they haven't had a bad game. And Ohio State's a really good team. Like, I'm not like going to diminish them at all, but their schedule's been pretty soft. Like, let's be honest. Like, their schedule's been, their best win is Texas at home, their first win. And then Michigan last week. And like, Michigan, they're okay. Like, I think you throw, and like, I hate to say this because usually I'm not an SEC guy. But you throw Michigan in the SEC, what are they, like the 7th? They're 7th or 8th in the SEC because they got hammered by Oklahoma at home, not at home, but at Oklahoma. Like they're not better than Ole Miss, A&M, Georgia, Alabama. I don't think they're better than Texas. Like I think Texas would beat Michigan. So what are they? It'd be like Michigan or Vandy, and they kind of play the same style of football. So I actually think Vandy would beat Michigan. So Ohio State, obviously, defending champion, really good team, probably like the best offensive player and defensive player in the country is maybe on their team with Downs and Jeremiah Smith, but they haven't, like you said, they haven't been tested yet. And like no one's made them uncomfortable. Like every single game they've played all year, they've been comfortable. They've played their game and they've won comfortably. So if someone like Oklahoma can get a couple of turnovers and make them a little uncomfortable, like what does that look like?
I'm really glad to see what that would look like for sure.
Because like people were saying, like, because I saw a lot of people were like, oh, well, they got uncomfortable against Michigan down 6-0. It's like, did they though? Like the only thing that made them uncomfortable was losing the last 4 years. But like after they scored their first couple of touchdowns, like that game was a wrap. Like when it was I think 17-6, like that game was over. Like Michigan had no chance of coming back. Like that was over. And it's like Ohio State just had to get that out of their head. Just get out of your head about Michigan and you're the better team. So, if someone can make them really uncomfortable, that would be interesting to see. I think Bama versus Ohio State would be interesting too. I just don't know. Like if you're Ohio State, like what Bama does is like it's they throw the ball. You're like, okay, well, we have one of the best secondaries and the best defensive back in the country. So it's like we're not worried about you throwing the ball on us. So it's like I think Bama's just too one-dimensional on offense to beat Ohio State, and I just don't think their defense would slow down Ohio State enough. But Oklahoma, that'd be interesting. Like you get past Bama, I guess the Ohio State game would probably be the Rose Bowl because you want to throw Ohio State in the Rose Bowl just for ratings. That'd be fun. Sure. That'd be super fun. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. Let's pivot. Let's talk about some drama, shall we?
Let's do it.
I mean, we talked about Lane a lot last week, but I think we just have to talk about Lane a little bit more just to start this drama, you know. Mr. Kiffin.
Right.
I don't think I have a picture of him right now, but
gotta get him in the purple. Where's the purple at? Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Do you see the trolling he's already doing? Where he's like, he posted a tiger. He's posted the national championship trophies, but he still has head coach of Ole Miss in his bio on Twitter while he's still doing this, and people are just going ballistic about that.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are we doing here, dude?
Yeah. He's trying to
do
what
are your thoughts?
Voice too.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Yeah. So like I get it, like the move, obviously, like LSU's a better job than Ole Miss. I think in 2025 it's close. Like it's not like, I mean, you're 11-1 and you're pretty much guaranteed to host a playoff game. Like, are you guaranteed? Like, Brian Kelly couldn't do that at LSU. So it's like, are you guaranteed to have that situation at LSU? No. Like, you could be there for 5 years and never be 11-1 hosting a playoff game. So, I mean, it's not that much better of a job. I think you can get better high school recruits at LSU because what he's kind of done at Ole Miss is just kind of raided the portal. Like, he's done really well in the portal. Where in LSU, you can get guys out of the portal and you can get high school recruits. So you can kind of just get a better overall team. Mm-hmm. But I think just the biggest thing is just the way he kind of handled this. Like, he's definitely always been a guy where it's like he loves to be the center of attention. He loves that big noon kickoff, college game day, all the pregame shows that you could think of are talking about him for at least like an hour on Saturday, it seemed like. So he's getting all the pub, he's getting everything, and he's just eating it up because that's just the guy that Lane is. I think it's a good hire for LSU. I think Lane Kiffin is a really good coach, but I think it's just going to be difficult for him to be like to ask. You're going to be able to ask kids in the transfer portal and ask high school kids to show them that you're committed to them when you just bailed on a playoff team. You just bailed on a playoff team. And the best record that Ole Miss has ever had. Like, Ole Miss has never had an 11-win season. And you're going to bail on that team. And it's
50 wins in the last 5 years.
In the last 5 years. And he didn't even do it clean. Like, if you knew you were going to bail, do it weeks ago. Like, hey, I'm going to finish out the season. I'll coach the Egg Bowl, but that's it. But no, it's like you kind of waffled the entire – and then, like, to kind of, like, blame the AD. Well, the AD won't let me – or he won't let me coach you guys anymore. It's like, no, bro. Like, we're not going to let you just – coach here for 3 more weeks so you can kind of talk to these guys like, hey, after this, who's coming with me? It's like, no, of course not. Like, no, like, athletic director in their right mind is going to, like, let you do that.
Yeah, so, especially, like, how you've been throwing out these hints and how you've been, and we let you string us along this whole time.
Yeah, like, you played with us this whole time. So, like, and then I think it was like, oh, we're going to have a 9 a.m. meeting to talk to the team. Then that turned to 12. Then that turned to 1. It's like, bro,
and then turned to the next day.
Yeah, it's like, just do this, bro. It's like, you played on Friday. You waited all day Saturday. It's like, I think you were waiting for the Alabama game because if Alabama loses, maybe they come open because DeBoer jumps ship and goes to Penn State. Or if Alabama lost, they would be in the SEC championship game. So maybe he'd want to hang out for the SEC championship game. But it's like, dude, like, just make a decision. Like, every other coach either got their extension or made their decision. Like, you were the guy that was like, okay, well, like, what are we waiting on? Like, what are we doing here? So, yeah.
So here's my 2 cents. And I'm going to try not to get too crazy. Because I've been racking my brain about this because I appreciate you saying that. Like, yes, I feel like in the old lens of college football, yeah, like LSU is definitely a better job, right?
Right.
But it really isn't a better job. Like, what? Like, cool, you're going to play in front of, 40,000 more fans each week? That's cool, right? Death Valley, that's exciting, right? And he posted the picture of a video back in like 10 years when he was at Alabama's offensive coordinator, where dude was like, "Well, pay Lane Kiffin $15 million a year just to get him because I just want to have blah blah." And he's like, "Oh, I wanted to bring this guy to the game." Like, he's trying to do all. Now he's trying to pander to all the LSU fans, whatever.
Right.
What is the point of building a bridge? You build bridges to bring these people who trying to, who wants to get over here. You build a good, strong, solid bridge to build Ole Miss from a lower tier SEC contending team to a middle to upper echelon SEC contender each year. Where this year you were second half away from a good second half away to being in the SEC championship, undoubtedly having an undefeated season, right?
Yep.
You built that here. You are so close to being a championship level coach, but you're not, right? And so it's like, You built this. It's possible. This whole land, like we see Indiana. No one ever talked about Indiana as a championship contender, championship level coach in the Big Ten ever that was talking about football. If you were talking about basketball, sure. They have some really good teams. So it's like to say that LSU's a better job, that's just bullshit to me. Right? Like you've gotten people to come here, whether it's the portal, whether it's whatever. You've gotten people here. You got people drafted. You've gotten good quarterbacks. You got a really good running back who's 19, who's one of the better running backs in the country. So it's like you telling me you can't continuously keep doing that, and if you just make one less mistake, fix one quarter, you're playing in the SEC championship. Like you're in the college football playoff with a home game that's going to bring more revenue, and your team is good. That's only lost one game to who one of the better teams in the whole country. You got an opportunity to right that wrong and to get to the national championship. And you're talking about, I really wanted to coach these guys to finish. If you wanted to coach these guys,
just coach
you wouldn't have taken the LSU job.
Yep.
So it doesn't make any sense to me, Lane. I love Lane Kiffin. I've been a big fan of Lane Kiffin for so long. I believe that every coach deserves, I feel like he deserved an opportunity to right his wrongs because he was a young prodigy coach that people just hyped up so young and early. He's done well. He's at USC, he's at Tennessee, he's at Oakland. He's done all the craziness, right? And I thought that he's finally matured and he's done his thing. He's matured. He's older for sure. He's older,
right?
But he's still Lane Kiffin. And he's doing all these Lane Kiffin things, and it's like same old Lane. And it's like I hate saying that because I believe that people can change and evolve, but he hasn't.
Right.
You're still trying to use an old excuse. 91 million. You're getting the same amount of money. Ole Miss had that same offer on the table for you.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is one of the first teams that really pushed NIL and they have a collective that pushes out money and that's willing to work to get players here. And it's been working for your benefit to win 50 games in the last 5 years. So it's you can't tell me LSU's a better job. LSU has been on the down track. It's something else here. There's something else here that he just doesn't like. And it hasn't come out yet because it doesn't make any sense to me. Do you just not like Oxford, Mississippi? Just say that, right? You've been here for 6 years. I mean, you felt like it was good enough for you. Right. So that's why I'm upset about that portion of it. So, but congratulations, Lane, on your $91 million. So.
Right? Yeah, because it's supposedly they were basically going to match that at Ole Miss or maybe just a little bit less. So, yeah, I know I mostly agree. I think it's still a little bit better. I think there's the potential. LSU is just a little bit better, but it's not that much to do how you did. Like you said, you want to coach these players to the playoff? Stay. Some of these jobs are gonna be open again. Some of these big jobs will be open again. If DeBoer loses on Saturday and they lose the first round of the playoff and then they have a rough year next year, Alabama will probably be open again. So it's some of these jobs will probably be open again. Texas could be open again potentially here in the next couple of years. So it's right now what you're doing at Ole Miss, like you said, yes, I think he thinks he's tapped out Ole Miss, but it's dude, you're gonna get a home playoff game. And then what they're set up there, say Georgia wins and moves to 2 and Indiana loses and moves down to 3. You get a home playoff game and then you get Indiana. I think Indiana's a good team, but you have better athletes than Indiana. So it's just looking at that. So you have the opportunity to win that game and then boom, you're in the semifinals. LSU, I get the last 3 coaches before Brian Kelly won a national title, but it was so far in between Saban won it in 03 and then Les Miles won it, I think, in what was that?
2009?
2009 and then 19. So it's one-offs. And then in between that, it was just dominant. The SEC was just dominated by obviously Saban and then Kirby Smart in the last half decade. So it's are you going to get that same recruiting class that because Ed Orgeron's he's not a great coach, but he'll recruit his ass off. And like he will get out there and he'll do some things. Well, I guess they'll both kind of do some things that you probably wouldn't want. And it's a little shady things that you don't want to talk about. But it's like I don't know, because can we look up like 3 years from now and it's the same situation? Like he's like Lane Kiffin's kind of an asshole, but he's not a jerk like Brian Kelly. So maybe he won't get ran out of town as quick. And I think he understands the SEC a lot more than Brian Kelly. So he'll be better than Brian Kelly. But I mean, shit, like Alabama's still good. Georgia's still really good. A&M's got the right coach. Tennessee, I think, will come back a little bit. We'll see what happens with Heupel there. Vanderbilt's got the right coach. Summerall, I thought, was a good hire for Florida. So it's like, dude, like, I don't know. Like, there's no guarantee that LSU is a top 3 program going forward in the SEC. Like,
and here's another big caveat. The expectations have tripled.
Yeah.
They want to see that this year.
Yeah.
Like, you got 3 years max, if that, if you're going to pay you $91 million, right? Yeah. You know what the expectations that miss is? Like, we're just glad that you got us here to this point. We respect you for building us up. Like, you're going to be a legend. You would have been a legend in Oxford forever if you just stayed.
Yeah, they probably put your statue outside the stadium. Yeah.
Exactly. But now, like, no kids will be named Lane. Kiffin, if there's anyone named Kiffin, first or last name, you know what I mean? You're going to be tarred and feathered for sure. And so it's like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, in this day in college football, it just doesn't make sense. And then it's like, you've built up a reputation when you're seeing quarterbacks getting developed. You're getting, you got a couple, you're sitting, I mean, I'll say they're not like all world, but like you at least have an offense to where, you know, quarterbacks who see that, they're like, okay, like even if it doesn't work out in their first school, like, hey, I want to go play for Lane. And that's been happening. You've gotten good guys, like, and like, you know, when it's not working out in top programs and they see how you're a player's coach and they seeing that, like, hey, I could do something cool there and it'll let me play and lay back or whatever, a little best of both worlds. I want to go play for Lane Kiffin. So you get the pick of the litter, right? Like, oh, it'd be really cool to go play with him. That's kind of like the appeal that, you know, Deion Sanders had for a little bit. So it's like, I mean, shit, it seems to be what the appeal right now what James Franklin has. Like,
James Franklin, right?
Yeah, I was thinking Kirk Franklin. I was like, what the heck am I talking about? But, but yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just so frustrating because it's like, it's not even like you didn't even walk upstairs in the SEC.
Right.
You know what I mean? You, in a sense, over the last couple of years, you got to walk down the stairs. Like, obviously, the LSU head mascot is probably still poking up. Like, because it's like, yeah, like, it's just, you know, obviously, it's a name value. And if that's all you're looking for,
right,
it's the name value. I mean, just tell me you like crawfish. We can get it shipped up here, man. Like, and we're not that far. Like, Mississippi ain't that far from Louisiana. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's disappointing for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Brian Kelly, and I think he's kind of a jerk. But I think if you asked him today, he probably would have just stayed in Notre Dame. But everybody thought LSU was just a much better job. Now, Notre Dame's much happier now because Marcus Freeman's the better coach and their program's better. But I think if you ask him now, like, he'd probably just stay at Notre Dame. And I think there's a lot of coaches where it's like, oh, I got to go get that big job that has the big name. Well, like you said, the big name comes with big expectations. Like, if you're not in the semifinals the next 3 years at LSU, are you still there? I don't know.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Or you don't win an SEC championship game, and it's like your quarterback's like, who's your quarterback next year? Nussmeier's gone. Like, their class is pretty good, but it's like, I don't know, man. They're gonna expect from day one. Like, next year he's got to compete for an SEC title, like year one.
And he's never won one as a head coach.
Never won one. And like Ole Miss was better set up next year. You get Chambliss coming back. They get, like you said, the running back still good. Like, you probably hit the portal and get some good players. Like, you're probably set up better at Ole Miss to compete next year than you would be at LSU now.
And I don't even think they realize the fact that, like, this is only going to make that NIL collective that the Ole Miss have raise even more money to make sure that they have an even better team. Like, it could be a Marcus Freeman situation with
with Golding,
with Golding, because he's going to have that buy-in from these players, and then he's going to get the buy-in not only from the players in the locker room, especially if they win a playoff game that Lane has never did at Ole Miss.
Yep. Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, you know what? Guess what? We got extra revenue from that extra game we played this past year. Guess what we're going to reinvest it into this collective to steal players from LSU, to steal players from Alabama. And guess what? Now we got some dogs coming back, and we're playing. We don't give a damn about it. We obviously care about the other games, but we're going to schedule you because you're soft and you want to leave. We're going to be Kirby Smart in this situation. We're targeting teams who don't want to be physical.
Right.
But we're just targeting you, Lane.
Right. No, yeah.
We're targeting all the Lane Kiffin teams. USC, Tennessee, and then finish it all with you at LSU.
Hey, we tarmacked him. Leave us out of it. We got rid of it. We didn't even let him get on the plane. It's like, bro, here's some money for an Uber. Find your way home. But yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think, like I said, I like Lane too. I think he's a great coach, but grass isn't always greener, man. It's not always greener.
It's greener where you water it.
Yeah. We'll see.
But let's talk about. We'll talk shortly about I'll say every, but we'll try to get into a little bit of all the country cards really fast because obviously there's a lot happening. I mean, obviously it won't be a lot that needs to be said, but we'll start with Pete Golding. Like, what do you think the expectations are for him, and do you think that he can make something of himself at Ole Miss?
I mean, he's a pretty good defensive. He kind of got a bad rap when he was at Alabama a little bit. Like, people kind of shit on him a lot, but they've played better defense the last couple of years at Ole Miss. Like, their defense is still not great, but it's better. So I think, it'll be a different total mentality there. Like, obviously with Lane, it was about offense and just kind of scoring and fast, high-powered offenses. So it'll be different, but like the momentum's, like you said, the momentum's there. They win their first playoff game. You get to play in the next play, and you're going to get millions of dollars for the next game or whatever bowl site you're at. So that's going to be huge. The fan base and the administration, like you said, is going to be behind him. Like, dude, we want to put this to Lane. So we're going to give you everything you want for the next 2 years. So the next 2 years, especially LSU comes to Ole Miss next year, that game is just going to be oh my God, it's going to be so fun.
Did I send you the video where someone said that they should do the little pregame video where it says UFO? Did I send you that?
Nah, I don't know if he did, but geez, like, he's going to need like Secret Service protecting him for that game to get into that stadium. Like, it's going to be just crazy. So I think these next 2 years, I think they can have like a really good team. It'll just be when he starts to get his guys in there in his recruiting classes, see how that goes. But I don't know. I think it was smart of them because it's like you can't go and do like spend a bunch of time like Penn State's doing to get a coach because like your coach has got to coach another game and maybe 2 and maybe 3 or more. So you needed to get someone in the building quick. He's been a lot of places in the SEC, so he knows how to recruit the area, he knows the area. So I think he'll do fine. And I think Ole Miss will be okay. Like, I think if we're looking up in 3 years and Ole Miss is still better than LSU, I wouldn't be shocked.
I like that. Here's my pitch. I'm trying to look at his coaching reference page to see if he's kind of interacted with anybody, but he's such a young coach. Jerry Nushire. Nushel?
Oh, the one at UCLA.
Oh, UCLA.
Yeah.
Imagine bringing him in as the offensive coordinator.
Right. Yeah.
Who's like, that's just going to bring that energy, excitement. People are so excited to talk about him, and especially if his offense succeeds. He's kind of that eccentric type, guy that give you that Lane Kiffin little flair. I don't know if they want to be, he steals a spotlight again like he did at UCLA. But another young, exciting head coach. Offensive coordinator. He'd be the same age as their offensive coordinator now, right? I think Charles Weiss is still like he might be 30.
Yeah, he's
30.
Super young. Yeah, but that'd be fun because that'll be huge. Like, who's his offensive coordinator? Because that'll be a big hire. But
he got them Alabama ties. So, could he bring in Dayball to come back? To be his offensive coordinator? Like, could that be a thing? We'll see what he'll dig deep in his bag of tricks for sure. Okay. I'm thinking, so next coach. Let's talk about James Franklin.
James Franklin, yep.
At Virginia Tech. He's done a great job.
Already, yeah.
I think they're 35th right now in the recruiting, but I mean they're pushing the top to get top 25 for early recruiting.
Yeah,
I think they'll definitely hit that.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think they were in like the 60s or something when he got there too. So
they were like they were like 100s. Like they were like one.
Jeez.
They literally swapped places with Penn State.
With Penn State.
Jeez. They literally swapped places because they were like in the hundreds deep, and it wasn't good. And obviously they lost a bunch of recruits because Pry got fired super early. So my thing is, look, I think he's going to bring in some really good talent. I think it's going to be some really exciting days for Virginia Tech. My biggest gripe with James Franklin has always been, can he develop these guys, right? Obviously, he had a lot of guys go to the NFL. Great. That's cool, that part of development. But can you develop them into a team and be consistently competing? Which, I mean, they competed to a degree. But to be like a true contender. And obviously, you can do that in the ACC for sure. But, like, can he be perfect? Can he be perfect in a season? Can he be flawless? Can he win? Obviously, he was one bad quarter away from the national championship last year. But again, that was that 1 year when you had, if you look at the players that came out of, Penn State over the last, his tenure, it's like, you should have done so much more. Joey Porter Jr., like, Saquon
Tyler
Barnes.
Warren, yeah.
Oh. So now we got to see, can he solve the quarterback conundrum? I think Kyle Jones is a solid quarterback. I don't know if he's going to be a world beater or whatever. So, like, can you get that your face of your program? So that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I'm interested to see it too. I think it's going to be easier in the ACC versus the Big Ten. There's no Ohio State, and there's no Michigan with Harbaugh, and there's no Oregon. So it's like it should be easier in the ACC. But it's like, are you just going to be like Clemson was? Like, they win the ACC, but Clemson was able to play up against Bama and play up against Ohio State. So are you just going to win the ACC every year and then get hammered in the playoffs, or are you going to play up to some of these teams? So that'll be interesting to see, because that's going to be the conversation. People are like, okay, great, you can win the ACC. Like, Virginia and Duke are playing for the championship this weekend, so it's like we're not that pleased with that. But when you get on the same field with an Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia in the playoff, are you just going to get beat like you got beat before? So that'll be interesting.
Okay, so we're gonna speed run through all these. I want to speed run through this. We'll speed run and then we'll stop, because at the end of the list is kind of the bigger names. Okay, but I can talk about this one because he's a coach from the Commanders. Tavita Pritchard, who was the quarterback coach for the Washington Commanders and former Stanford Cardinal, who played quarterback there, becomes the first-time head coach. I don't know if this is the first hire for Andrew Luck as the GM for Stanford, but it's because I guess it might not, because I guess Frank Reich was only there for a year, so I feel like that might have been Luck's first appointment, and just kind of obviously, So this is an interesting pivot, going from a guy who has coaching experience to someone head coaching experience. But I just feel like Frank Reich is so lost and needs to kind of go away for a while. I think he's just, I don't know what it's up. He's like really lost as a coach ever since he went to Carolina. But I'm really excited to see what Pritchard does. I think he's been under the tutelage of Cliff Kingsbury and also Dan Quinn. I watched his speech about I think they posted it today on Commanders in social media, how he's pumped up. So maybe it's like a young, youthful energy guy who's going to get his first opportunities, hungry, and who's obviously has the ties to Stanford, who understands what it's like to play there. Obviously, he's a smart guy as well. So I'm really interested to see how well he plays out there, or how he coaches out there. So I'm excited for that. I'm hoping he brings some energy to Stanford. It's going to be tough. Obviously, playing in the ACC, cross country trips a lot of the weeks. But I hope he does well.
Say, I give you I would go favorite hire of the cycle, because there's so many.
Yeah, go for it.
So many. Okay, so I'm trying to think my favorite hire. There's been some really good ones. Like even at the smaller schools. I thought Oklahoma State getting Eric Morris. I thought that was a really good hire.
That was a really good hire. Yeah.
Jim Moore to Colorado State, like it's like I thought UConn would be like that's kind of like a lateral move, if not like a step. That was interesting, but I thought that was a really good one. Will Stein, I think would do pretty well at Kentucky. Bob Chesney, I don't hope he does well at UCLA, but I think that's a good hire. But
Yeah.
I would probably say my favorite is probably Summerall at Florida, because like you lose out on Kiffin, but it's like maybe like okay, that's fine, because then you don't get everything else that comes with Kiffin, and you don't have to do the whole you were done, like you knew it wasn't gonna be Kiffin, so you move with Summerall. But I think he's done a really good job at Tulane. Like he's a young
And
coach.
Troy.
I know. And Troy. I know it's like they just went to the G6 or G5 to get Billy Napier, but I think this is a little bit different. But like different from like LSU. When you're going to LSU, like all the expectations are like, yeah, you got to compete for an SEC championship. You got to compete for a national championship. And I think Florida, you can eventually get there, but I think they're going to give him like, it's not right away, because it's like they haven't been great for a while. So it's like now you got a little bit of time to kind of build your brand there, build your kind of culture there. But it's also just like you get to go recruit Florida too. And Florida State's really down, and they kept Norvell just because they can't afford to fire him. Yeah, they can't afford to fire him. And it's like, yeah, Cristobal's doing well in Miami, but it's like the results on the field are still not matching the recruiting results. So it's like you can go down there and kind of, okay, we're in the SEC though, so it's like we're still in a better conference in Miami, and I think you can kind of get that recruiting going real quick. He knows the area. Obviously, he's been coaching in Louisiana. And where's Troy, Alabama? Troy's in Alabama, right? Yeah. So you know the Southeast. So I just like that fit. I think the fit's really good, and you weren't worried about winning the coaching hire by trying to get Lane Kiffin. You just we went out there and got a really solid coach.
Yeah, I think they won the coaching cycle because I love John Summerall. And the more I keep learning about him, the more obviously he played in the SEC at Kentucky, so he understands. Which I mean, that would have been if Kentucky would have moved a little quicker, that would have been a higher for them as well. But no, but he's about energy. He's about the attitude, and that's what I think makes him such a slam dunk hire for Florida. Is because Florida had that energy. They had that attitude about going to the swamp. He's going to bring the bite back to the swamp, right? He's going to bring that. And I think he's going to bring that defensive edge where Napier never truly was a mastermind of the offense, or he was kind of like a coach's coach type thing. But like Summerall has his identity on that defensive side of the ball. Everywhere, like when he was at Troy, he was holding teams like they were like the second best defensive team in the nation by stats and numbers. And then when he played against bigger teams, yeah, they might have still lost some of those games, but they held those teams to under their average on the season every time. So now he's going to get the resources, and he's still so free. I get he doesn't have like so much served time as a head coach, but his trajectory is almost like Urban Meyer at Utah trajectory in a sense, right?
A little bit, yeah.
You're kind of getting him right when he's catching fire, and if you get him to catch fire in the SEC, you got your coach for the next decade plus.
Yep.
And that's what I think, because he has the attitude. He's still a young coach, so he still has that bite, right? Like he still kind of has that Dabo Sweeney era. He's going to become a lovable guy and maybe go on that run. Hopefully he doesn't get to Dabo Sweeney he is now, but I think I agree with you. Like, it's a great hire. I'm really a fan of it. I hate that because I'm a Georgia fan. I hate Florida. But I really like John Summerall, and I really want him to succeed every year except when he plays Georgia. So, yeah, that's a really good hire because I think I've learned a lot about him. And when you do it multiple times at multiple organizations, turning them around quick, that can be really exciting for Florida, especially with the talent they have.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's going to have the right character of people that's really going to embody his identity and his passion that he has. But I think they will, and they would be really good.
Right. Like, does Lagway stay? That'd be interesting. I think he could do some things with Lagway. So that'd be, I mean, there's talent already on that team. They just didn't, I don't know what Napier was doing there, but yeah. And then obviously in the state, like shit, like Florida, you can argue with Texas and maybe California. Like you could just recruit your state and have like a top 15 class?
I would say that I do. I would if you take somewhere off the table for me for best favorite hire, my favorite hire is probably Eric Morris to Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Just because I think he embodies what Oklahoma State used to be, one of those high-powered offenses, like fun to watch, has some really good talent, sending some receivers to the league, running backs and stuff like that. Like, I really think he can re-embody that cowboy mentality. I think that's like I think in terms of fit and culture and like what they were and getting back to that roots, I think that's like the perfect mesh. And then a guy who also has roots in Texas, deep Texas ties, so you can steal Texas recruits.
Right.
That's great.
Right.
Let me tell you 2 hires. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
1, Pat Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
And 2, Ryan Silverfield. What? Like, Arkansas is already up in arms about hiring a guy. Memphis wanted to get rid of a Littlefield or whatever. Yeah.
Silverfield.
Like Silverfield, because he played little on the field, but
right.
They were like, bro, we want you to go, and Arkansas, we got you, no problem, we'll take him. He's done one against you, but then if you look at his numbers, he hasn't won against good teams.
No.
Like, yeah, like he inherited a team that Mike Norvell built up.
Right.
And had really good and then fumbled it. And so it's like he inherited a good Memphis team. It hasn't taken any forward movement. And then let's get that guy to the SEC.
Right. Yeah, no, that one was what I think it was like they kind of had to settle for him because like Golish told them no. Apparently Eric Morris turned them down for Oklahoma State. Summerall, when they were never in. So it was like they kind of like he was like their 4th option, but it's like, I don't know.
I would have went with Brian Kelly before I would have went with him.
Right. You could have went like Brian Kelly. There's other guys out there I thought would have been interesting too. You could have gone the coordinator route, like with a guy like a Will Stein or something like that. Like there was other options. But yeah, no, that one was weird. Yeah, I get he beat you, but like you didn't have a good team this year. And like he's in Memphis. They're probably the richest team in the American Conference, and they couldn't get to the championship game. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like I would have
that
went
one
FCS. Like I would have went go to the Montanas.
Yeah.
If I'm one of those guys. Because like they know how to do it with less money. Yeah. They can build a culture because you have to do that at Arkansas. Like, let's be honest. Like, you have to have an attitude about you, and it has to be scrappy. You have to be like an Iowa. I think sometimes people look these bigger teams, these mid-tier teams in the bigger conferences. They try to be like, okay, how can we be just like Georgia? How can we be like Alabama? No, don't be like that.
No.
This sounds, because it might sound crazy, but stay with me. You want to be like Iowa. You want to be like Iowa State. To be quite honest with you, because they recruit 3 stars and 2 stars. But guess what? They got the infrastructure to build them, grow them, and compete. They're one of the teams that you don't want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, their offense is abysmal, but hey, they scored 40 points this year. They're trying to figure that out.
Right.
And
well,
so
that would have been.
They're always going to be a tough, scrappy team, and they're always competing for the Big Ten championship. Mind you,
Always.
too. It's ugly, but they're competing there, and they're actually in the SEC in the Big Ten championship game. If you said Arkansas competing in the SEC championship, it's like, wait, did Darren McFadden walk through that door?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you're thinking about. And Darren McFadden retired from the NFL a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So just imagine how long he was in college. So it's like, I think these universities are thinking of wrong things about how to build their program and how to go about it. And I think sometimes you might need a shift in perspective to really set your organization forward. Right. And I think a lot of people are trying to adapt the same mentality and not trying to think outside of the box.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, like you just mentioned a team that I think that coach would have been great for Arkansas. Now, maybe he wasn't interested in Arkansas, but Matt Campbell, like if he can do that at Iowa State, he could. I mean, look at the guys he's put in the league: Brock Purdy, Brees Hall. He had 2 receivers drafted in the 2nd and 3rd round last year.
The Jaden
Higgins, and was it Jalen Knoll and Jalen Higgins? I think but that's like they got guys in the league. Like who's the last guy that Arkansas put in the league? Traylon Burks.
Like, hey man, great catch on Sunday night.
Great catch on Sunday night, though. But other than that, it's like, I mean, he was traded for AJ Brown, so it's like, yeah, like, but who else? I can't think of any other Arkansas players that have been drafted that high in a long time. I'm sure there's like an offensive, defensive lineman that I'm missing, but yeah, it's like, so yeah, that was a weird hire. And then, of course, like the team that hasn't hired a coach is probably the biggest loser right now, and that's Penn State.
Penn State might be calling Matt Campbell's pretty soon. That might not be a bad idea, to be honest.
They probably should be. If they already have, they probably should have him on the phone. Get Brian Hartline on the phone. Like you got to get somebody in the door because you've lost basically your entire 2027 or 2026 recruiting class. Like your entire high school, you're gonna have to like whoever gets in there is gonna have to just like crush it in the portal. Like you're gonna have to go like slam the portal hard. Throwing like dropping major bags in the portal just to get a team to compete next year. Like I don't know, because they were the first team. Like Franklin was the first one fired after like it was him, and then it was like I think it was, and then
I feel like it was Brent Pry. Brent Pry was first.
Brent Pry, then him, then Napier, then Kelly. Like it was like, but it's like, dude, you guys fired your coach back in like October. Yeah, we're sitting here like after Thanksgiving. Signing days tomorrow, and you have nobody in place, and you're just getting no's. Like you're trying to get the BYU coach. I that would have been interesting. I think that's a weird fit. Sataki's coached Utah. He's coached BYU. Like he's never really been like west of like the Rockies, basically, for like coaching. So like I don't know. That would have been an odd fit. He's a good coach, but like, does he know? Can he even point out like Happy Valley on a map? Probably not. But it's like I don't. It would just been an odd fit. But there's, I mean, like you said, Matt Campbell's still out there. Brian Hartline, you could give him a major promotion, but is he waiting for a better job? I don't know. But just total fumble job here.
You bring Chip Kelly back to Pennsylvania?
Jeez, that would be. I think that would not be because like Chip Kelly didn't want to coach. Like that's the main reason he left. Like he went from a head coaching job to a coordinator job. Now, granted, it was UCLA. Like Penn State's better job than UCLA, but maybe not to Bob Chesney. Bob Chesney was like, "I'll take UCLA." They could have hired him.
I do like the Bob Chesney hire. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah. He's probably like my 1C.
Yeah,
my 1C for sure.
Because he's got that Summerall vibes, young, kind of just energetic. So I think he'll do. UCLA is a tough job though because it's a basketball school and it's just a school that just. They care more about like, okay, like kids graduating than like getting them to the NFL. So it's a tough job, but yeah, I think that's a good hire there. There was one other one that I liked a lot too. But as far as like Pritchard, I don't know much about him. So I think that'll be interesting to see what happens there. Stanford's not an easy job because like you can't just recruit anybody because they have to have like a certain like GPA just to get into the school. Like they got to be smart enough to get into the school.
Wait, didn't Cal hire somebody today?
Cal hired the defensive, and that's another thing. So the offensive and defensive coordinator for Oregon are gone. So that'll be. So I'm hoping that brings him down a little bit just because of the Big Ten. But we'll see. We'll see Dan Lanning's chops now. I think he'll be fine. Like he lost Kenny Dillingham, and he found like he kind of just brought in Will Stein, and they were fine. So I think he'll be fine. And Oregon could probably pays their coordinators probably like $5 million a year, so it's like they're not hurting for money. So he can kind of go out and get like he can go get someone that's pretty good to go be the coordinator. So I think he'll be fine. But yeah, I just think I think Arkansas is probably the biggest loser because the Silverfield hire was just weird. But I think if Penn State like unless they can land Campbell or Hartline or something like that, but the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Yeah, so it's just
you had to go Ed Orgeron at this point. I heard Ed Orgeron might be in line for the Tulane job. I feel like they keep throwing his name out there. They just keep throwing Ed's name out there.
Just stay in Louisiana, get the crawfish going. Like, hey, that works. Like, yeah. I think he'd be a really good hire at an American job. I think he could do a really good job at a Tulane or a North Texas. But I think North Texas already hired somebody. But
they hired,
or South Florida.
Brown.
Oh, Neil Brown.
Right? Neil Brown, yeah. I was like,
That's a weird hire, but I mean, maybe he's better than that at West Virginia.
He wasn't not too bad. Like West Virginia was still, they were kind of all right. It did went off the rails, but yeah, I get that.
Yeah, talk about a lot of coaching hires, and there's still like 6 or 7 jobs open too. It's like, this has been a crazy cycle. Like Lane kind of took all the like publicity, but like if I'm ranking like top hires, I don't think I have him in my top 2 or 3.
Lane Kiffin,
he's probably 3. I'd probably go Summerall, Morris, then him. And then somehow Colorado State got Jim Mora. That kind of shocked me.
Yeah, like Jim Mora is just like an all-around solid football coach. It's no thrills about it, but you're gonna play solid football. And
like, are they the best? They're the best college football team in Colorado now.
Probably.
Prime. Prime went 3-9. Like, and that's the thing too. Like, I think that job comes open soon. I don't know how much longer Prime.
He gets one more. I think he gets one more year. I mean,
yeah.
You know,
I don't think he
made
gets
that
fired.
Big,
yeah.
He made that big emphatic like, this is the Last Supper. Like he's gonna make sure because it's like okay. Since we talked about Prime, he brought up about because Jordan Tyson, the best receiver in the college football. I didn't realize he was at Colorado, but he left. Yeah. And you know, he was talking about, and like Deion made it a point to talk about how, like, you know, coach came up to me and apologized for blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, is this a flex? Is this like, what are we doing? Like, he left. Right? Like, he still left. Like, I get it. Yes, I guess he's trying to say, like, I can scout talent. But at the same time he left, which is what a lot of players keep doing. And you're not keeping the good ones that are making an impact for you, obviously, this past year. So it's like you wouldn't regress back to year 1. So it's like, can you consistently build a winner? And that's what everyone keeps talking about with Prime. It's like, because you're not using high school recruiting. Like, you should not be using the transfer portal as your main source of players and player development because you're not going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, who you're developing. You bring them to the league, cool. But then it's like, who you got next year? Like, I would like to have my hands on talent to mold them for at least 3 years. Right? And then supplement with the portal.
Right. Yeah, Tyson was there in 2022. That was like the last coach too. So it's like, dude, like he left after you came. So you didn't scout him. Like you had nothing to do with it. And yeah, like you said, like if he stayed, if he was like, hey, he was one of the guys, like the rest of that.
He should have stayed. He should have definitely stayed to be with Shador.
Yeah, him and Hunter would have been nice. But it's like, hey, they won the Big 12 last year. Like Colorado couldn't do that. So it's like, and he's probably gonna be a first round pick, like worst case scenario.
He's probably the first receiver off the board.
Yeah.
But he is dealing with that. I think he's like a torn hamstring or something.
He's got a lot of injury issues though, so I think that could be the only thing that could hold people back. But yeah, so I think with Prime, I don't know if he'll ever get fired from there just because he's brought so much money to that pro. They may not have won a ton, but the money that's gone into the school has done a ton. But I think
he's won way more than what they did previously. So I think that's who's going to keep banking on that until we heard this feel enough.
Yeah, for one season though.
They only had 1 win.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's my biggest pet peeve for coaches is like, hey, listen, like you're mad at me because we're suck right now, but listen, I took over this team that was really bad. Right. So you got to remember that. Remember that we were really bad now, but look, we're bad. You can drop 1 really. We're just bad, but don't give me that bullshit. Like, tell me you're going to go back at it. This is not good enough. We're going to keep going. Don't give me the excuse. I'm taking over a bad situation. That would be my biggest. Like, if I was a GM, you're fired, dude.
Right. Well, I was the thing too. Like, where's that Louis Vuitton bags you were taking that we're supposed to bring in? Like, yeah, you brought in. Yeah, Shador. Yeah, sure. They're. I mean, one of them's injured, but yeah, they're in the league now, and we'll see how much. I mean, I don't know I think the Browns are going to stick with Shador, but like he doesn't have that job locked down for long term. Like it's this year. I wouldn't be shocked if they draft another quarterback. Yeah.
It's like we need to see what's this season's collection. Oh, why are we still looking at collection from 2 years ago? That's why he brought him in the Hall of Fame so quick. Maybe they was Maybe they weren't that good, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, was it Prime or was it Shadur and Travis Hunter? Because it's like that team.
1,000%.
That team
As
went
soon as
down.
they could get
They're 3-9. Yeah.
If they get a legit offensive coordinator again, because that's really the reason what it is. I mean, Sean Lewis really was the reason that they were good that year.
And that's another guy. I think he's going to get a big job soon. Sean Lewis from San Diego State. I think he won 9 games with San Diego State. So I can see him. Obviously not Penn State. That'd probably be too big of a jump. But
he's definitely. I mean, he's up there, and he's young. He's still like 34, 35.
Yeah.
So if he has like another really good year, and then he could probably be the next. You know what? I'm gonna project Sean Lewis as the next head coach of Florida State whenever they have the money to get rid of Norvell.
Yeah,
exactly.
Jeez, that was when they did that. It was like, okay, you're just kind of admitting we don't have the money to fire this guy, and then he turns around and loses to a 3-win Florida team. Just like, oh my gosh, it's just so bad there, and it's like they're basically an irrelevant program now. Like they're not even relevant in the ACC, which is having a down year. Like, yeah, this
should have been the year. But
they should, and that Bama wins. That Bama win looks like the Raiders beating the Patriots in the NFL. Like this is the weirdest win of the season. And it's like you look back, you're like, oh, that's right, Florida State beat Bama, and then they won 3 more games the rest of the year. Like,
and that's what I said. Week 1 is not real. Like week 1 is so like an anomaly. So where it's just like anything can happen, but then it's like, okay, now we see real football team showed up. I don't know if you know this. Are you familiar with Coastal and Tim Beck at all?
So they fired their coach, right? Yeah, they fired him. I mean,
he went 6-7, or they were 8-5, 6-7, and then this year I don't know where they were, but he was 20-18 as a coach, winning record for Coastal 3 years there, right. And then getting fired. Yeah, it's very perplexing. Tim Beck was the offensive coordinator at North Carolina State previously, taking over for Jamie Chadwell when he left to go to Liberty. I don't understand it because, don't get me wrong, it's fine. Obviously, I think what is happening is I think they really got used to the thrills that Jamie Chadwell brought to them when they were America's team, and everyone just loved them when they were at the Mohawks. They were doing the WWE celebrations, throwing people through tables, and they were getting attention. And Tim Beck is just boring, but he's winning games. He's getting you bowl eligible. I think he was 5-3 in the Sun Belt both years. 4 seasons he was there, which is solid. It's not great, but it's solid. But he's building his foundation. Like, what happened to old school college football where you get your 5-year plan to really turn the program around? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if I'm treading water at 6-7 and 8-5 most years, like I feel like I could accept that for 5 years, and then if we at least get to the upper echelon after that, especially because you're Coastal, like you really got money. Let's be honest,
right? So
it's like, what are we doing here? So then it's like the next coach comes in, like what should I expect? Like you were winning. Right. Not a lot, not often, but you were winning.
Yeah, it was not a winning record. Yeah, at a small. Yeah, I feel like that's just everywhere. Like expectations are quick, and it's like everybody think, okay, we'll transfer portal out. You could just pay guys and then get people from the portal. It's like, well, no, you can't, because every other school has that same plan. So it's like, and when you're Coastal, it's like, yeah, you're picking from like, okay, where are the FCS kids in the portal? Where are the kids from, like Kent State or some crap like that? Like, where are you're picking from the bottom. You don't get like your pick of the best guys from the portal. And then what are you getting? Like 2-star recruits mostly, like 2-star recruits, guys who maybe don't even have any stars. Like you're getting lower level, like recruits both in the transfer portal and in high school, and just the move. Like, yeah, the expectations for so many schools, just like, what are we doing here? Like, let's make.
I think the issue is like, because I think people smell they see something that is not really fit their expectations, right? Like, oh, I want that Louis bag, but like I'm on a Nike budget, right. And so we see what Indiana did. They were nothing, and I think we could compete with them and do that. Like, no. First of all, they're in the Big Ten. They're getting Big Ten money, first and foremost.
Right.
You're getting Sun Belt money, not even the American, right? Like,
yeah.
So it's just so dumb. Like, it's so dumb. It's okay to just be stable. Like, I think it's like, you have the stable girlfriend or boyfriend that's just, it's nice. They're there. They're solid for you. They're there when you need them. Not going to be too many frills and thrills. But then all of a sudden you go out on vacation. You see that Jim and James, they got all of the frills. Their girlfriends are toxic and exciting and, gives you that thrill, gives you those butterflies, but realize, hey, we don't want this all the time. Okay? Right. We don't want this all the time. You see the good times, but look at the bad times. You want Lane Kiffin.
Right.
We don't want all that drama. We just want a quiet winner. You want Matt Campbell. You want, was it McLeod at Iowa?
Oh, Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah, you want that. Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, he's been there 20 years. Yeah, and he wins 8-9 games a year. And the same with Campbell. Campbell wins 8-9, maybe 10 games a year. And that's kind of what Lane had at Ole Miss. It's like you had your stability. Like you could be at Ole Miss for the next 10 years and you probably win 8, 9, 10 games a year. And they're going to love you. Like you're going to be their guy. Like you're going to be like their Kirk Ferentz or their, it's just small school doing. And it's like, or you can go to LSU and you win 8, 9 games a year and they're banging down your door and you're like every time you're getting booed every time you win your 9th game and you lose your game. You lose at Alabama or you lose to Bama at home or Georgia at home, you're getting booed. So it's like, like you said, it's not always the, not like we talked about earlier, not always the grass is greener. And it's like, why would you leave this situation where it's like like you said, with these programs, if you're not one of the top 7 to 10 to 12 programs, which we kind of all know who they are, you shouldn't be expecting to compete for a national championship every year. Like Ole Miss, I get every now and then you could pop up and win a national championship. Like there's only been one program I know that's gone from okay, you're just a mediocre, above average program to national championship contender. And that's not Indiana because I want to see them do it for a longer time. That's Oregon. Oregon 20 years ago was just that mid above average program. Now they're a national championship contender, but it's okay, they have Phil Knight. You don't have Phil Knight. That's just funding the shit out of your program. And so it's
I think, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, and they've done well with their coaching hire. So it's they had the right kind of structure to get to that, but it's that's not always the case.
No. And I think organizations, I think JMU is finding this role, and I think more teams need to adopt this strategy, right? And being a feeder school for coaches as well, right? Understanding where you are at in the pecking order in terms of schools, because it could also be a good cash cow. Because guess what? Yeah. If you're going to poach my coach consecutively, guess what? I'm going to make sure that buyout money is pretty good money so I can put back into the organization. Right. So if you honestly, it sucks. Yeah, you got for your fan base because it's we're excited, we're good. But it's hey, we're going to just take the chance on young or not to say young because Kirsten is definitely not young, but coaches, especially at the FCS level, right, who are proven winners and who need that spotlight. Be that feeder, that connecting team, because let's be honest, Coastal can, they have an opportunity to at least get to the playoff for sure. But at the same time, you're never going to, not right now, unless some, insane stuff happens. You feed kids to the NFL and they bring back money down. Be that feeder team to help your program in the long run and get that money coming in. So it's do that. I'm looking at FCS and I'm let's go and go to Montana, go to North Dakota State, give them the opportunity. And but shit, even then, maybe those schools might even have more money than you, to be honest. They're trying to make that next, they might be making that jump up pretty soon too. So
yep.
Yeah. It was a lot this past weekend. We enjoyed our Saturdays. We enjoyed our Sunday too.
Oh, big time.
Anything else? Last things that you want to get off your chest?
Do we want to do conference championship picks, or we could save that for another time, or just maybe run through it real quickly or something like that?
Yeah, real quick. Okay. We'll just say the team. If you have it up right now.
I do, yeah. So, like, the first game on Saturday is 11 BYU versus Texas Tech. Texas Tech's 12.5-point favorite. So if we're doing spread, I think BYU covers that, but I think Texas Tech wins.
I'm going BYU for the upset. I think with the coach extending, showing he's committed to this program and to want that revenge. Because Big 12's always about that. I feel like Big 12 always does that. So especially when it's a rematch for the championship. Take the team that lost the first time. Give me BYU.
Okay. Then we got the afternoon game is, let's see here. So Georgia versus Bama. Georgia's 2.5-point favorite. I think Georgia wins and covers.
I think Georgia wins by a lot. I think Alabama's crumbling right now. And it's something just really off right now. And I think it could be stemming, because maybe there is something to DeBoer leaving for Penn State.
And then we got the 2 night games. We got Indiana versus Ohio State. Ohio State's only a 4-point favorite. That's pretty small. I think Indiana's a good team, but I think Ohio State's just that much. So I think Ohio State wins and covers there.
I think they cover as well. I might even take, what's the points?
4.
Oh, and the total. What's the total?
Oh, the total is 47.5.
I might take the over on that too.
I might, yeah, because I think they'll both score a little bit. Well, I think Ohio State will score. And then ACC, we got Duke versus Virginia. Virginia's 3.5. I don't know how Duke's there, like we talked about earlier. So I think Virginia wins and covers. I don't know what to make of Duke. Like 7-5.
I think Duke wins because Manny Diaz is a freaking madman. Okay. And I just don't trust Virginia to be consistent in big games yet. I think this is a good test for Tony Elliott, and it's a good step that they're in the ACC championship game for his tenure. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. I just see Duke causing mayhem, and no ACC team is in the the championship game. I need it for the chaos. I need it.
Right. And then the last thing, I think this is interesting, like the American. So this is Friday night. North Texas versus Tulane. North Texas 2.5. I think that offense.
North Texas is favorite.
Yeah, by 2.5. I'm rolling with North. I mean, both their coaches are leaving, but they're both coaching. I think I like North Texas. That offense and that quarterback, they score a ton. I don't know.
And they're running the ball really good.
And they run it well. Yeah, so it's like, I just think it's too much offense. And so I think North Texas wins, but I think that'll be a fun game on Friday night.
I think I'm gonna lean. What's the points?
2.5 North Texas minus 2.5.
Give me Tulane to cover. I think Tulane might. I think the attitude of that team, because I just think I don't know. I think Tulane might have this one.
Games in New Orleans too, so I didn't see that. So that favors Tulane
for sure. Yeah. Well, who's the other? Oh yeah, I guess it would be Virginia. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that should be fun. That should be a fun weekend. I'm excited for that to really take in this Saturday and watch some college football. Go Dogs all the way. No one else.
I got no rooting interest at all, so I'm just going to watch and enjoy.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you for hanging out tonight on this Tuesday. Yeah, we're in store for some fun finishes for sure. And we'll be here reacting to it all on Saturdays Are Sacred here on Sports Fluent Network. Any final thoughts? The Patriots are really good.
Patriots are really good. We could talk some NFL. Yeah, 11-2. Drake May MVP. It's a good time.
I was right about Drake May all along. I also want to say
that. Yeah, he looks ridiculous.
Charlotte boy.
And, like, throws probably the best deep ball in the league. Like Trevion Henderson starting to play a little bit. Kyle, it's starting to click and starting to look real good there.
Yeah, we'll see. Super Bowl bust?
Nah, not that far. It's year one, okay. Vrabel, year 2. Yeah, not that far, but I mean, it's on the table.
Oh, for sure. All right, Cody, thank you for hanging out. Yeah, this has been our show. Saturdays Are Sacred. Make sure we'll be back on Sunday at 12 o'clock on Sports Fluent, Twitter, YouTube. Check us out. We're going to be here. And have a great night, guys. We'll catch you guys Sunday.
Okay, this Sunday. Yep. All right, see you, man.
Snap back. Quarterback rolling right. He's looking end zone. Caught. Touchdown.
Saturdays are sacred. A football podcast.